Bitcoin is starting to have its first little correction after seeing a surge over 37% towards the upside. And on today's update video, I will of course talk about the symmetrical triangle breakdown that we just saw yesterday, the most important charts, the most important data, and talk about what I think is most likely going to be happening next to Bitcoin. Because right now we are at a very important stage of the market. Are we going to see a massive continuation further on towards the upside? Or are we going to be seeing that bigger correction getting emerged right now? So I will be talking about this on today's update video. So without any further ado, don't forget to slap that like button back above 800 likes. That will be absolutely incredible. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So yesterday I spotted this symmetrical triangle in creation on Bitcoin. We talked about it on yesterday's video. We broke down, and after we had the breakdown of this pattern, Bitcoin exactly dumped towards the downside and straight away reaching our price target that was sitting somewhere around $51,000, and Bitcoin went all the way down to 50.6k. So Bitcoin broke down, bounced up once again here, and right now basically if we're approaching the Bitcoin price action right now in the imminent short term, it looks to be that we're creating a lower low structure together with lower highs, and that means that we're currently trading in a little bit of a downtrend. And I want to be pointing this out to everyone out there, because if this downtrend continues, this could potentially turn in towards a larger scale correction for Bitcoin. And since Bitcoin has been going literally 37% towards the upside without having a serious correction downwards, I think that if we were to be getting a correction, it could potentially become a correction up to 15%. So this is a thing you need to be paying attention towards right now as well, due to the fact that it is weekend and Bitcoin is moving so heavily. We are indeed creating a CME gap. Currently the CME close price is laying around $52,160, and currently we're significantly trading below it. And usually what tends to be happening is that the Bitcoin price comes close towards that CME close price at the end of the weekend. This is usually what tends to happen. It doesn't necessarily have to be happening, and if we were to be closing it anywhere below it, we're creating a bullish CME gap, and that is also a good thing for the market in general. Of course, today we have no new news in terms of the Bitcoin spot ETF inflows, since right now it is Sunday, and yesterday we did not saw any inflows because on the weekends the Bitcoin spot ETFs are indeed closed for trading. But the thing that we do know is that in the last 7 days we saw more than 50,000 Bitcoins getting bought up from the open market, what is of course actually quite massive. So let's see how next week is going to be here, because last week was absolutely insane in terms of inflows. We've never seen such a good week for the Bitcoin spot ETF. A thing that's important to pay attention towards is that right now the grayscale outflows are becoming a little bit bigger, and potentially this is Genesis that also got cleared by court to sell its $1.3 billion worth of GBTC shares. But if they were to be selling off $1.3 billion, it is of course going to be quite significant. But if you're literally looking about what got bought in the last week, we already know that more than $2 billion of net inflows were realized in last week's Bitcoin spot ETF. So honestly, will a $1.2 billion sell pressure be all too bad for Bitcoin? Honestly, I think we could easily handle it, and it's not going to be all too big of a deal for Bitcoin. But maybe a slight little correction will be quite healthy in my opinion. So looking at the liquidation heat map yesterday, we exactly took out the liquidity on the lower side. Currently, there's still some liquidity being built up above it, but still clearly I am seeing a large amount of liquidity being built up above us. So I won't be surprised that we are still going to be seeing a push up higher before potentially going lower first of all. So very important data. Also, data that is very interesting in my opinion is that the funding rates remain to be extremely positive, and this means that everyone is just opening up long positions and no one is really interested in shorting Bitcoin right now here. So yeah, this is interesting to be seeing in my opinion, because usually once the funding rates are quite high, it means that the market is topping out here. But yeah, for me to right now say that is extremely hard, but I want to be pointing out here is that Bitcoin indeed went quite exponential, and a small little retracement wouldn't be all too bad here. And if we were to be getting a retracement, and I've said this several times before, I am still waiting for my next opportunity to trade Bitcoin, and I think the next trade that I will be taking on Bitcoin is of course going to be a long position. Once Bitcoin sees a little bit of a correction, I'm going to be opening up a new trade here, and that is going to be the opportunity that I will be embracing with both hands here. So maybe what I will be looking at is this very important level right here, or potentially I will be approaching this as a support box. So looking at this range right here to be be opening up new long positions. But currently, Bitcoin indeed is still creating an upper sloping support line, and as long as we're holding this level, I don't really see a big reason to be panicking. If we were to be seeing a correction, my targets are going to be around 47 to 48,000 US dollars, where I think the big support is going to get found for Bitcoin. And once we do see a correction here on Bitcoin, and I do get the opportunity to be opening up a new trade, I'm going to be doing so here on Deepcoin, and you could be joining me as well with my copy trading account. You could be joining my copy trading if you sign up an account using that link below, because otherwise you won't be able to be joining. And guys, since I am not taking a trade every single day, but waiting for the perfect opportunity, you could also try out different copy traders that are also making significant amount of profits here in the market. I mean that my last 6 trades were all profitable, but right now I am just waiting on the sidelines to be opening up my next trade here. But I want to be taking a trade where I'm 100% convinced that I'm going to be making a profit, or at least 99%. You can't always be 100%, because right now the markets have been rallying significantly towards the upside. There is some risk on opening up a long position after Bitcoin pumped literally 37%. Also, I'm not going to open up a short position because Bitcoin is going so exponential, and that is just also risky in my opinion, because in bull runs you do not want to be opening up Bitcoin short positions, because that is absolutely suicide in my opinion. So right now Bitcoin of course is seeing a little bit of a correction, and the big support in my opinion is going to be 0.65 and 0.618 here, 2 very important Fibonacci levels. And I said this yesterday as well, and I said this in previous videos as well, please wait for the weekly candle close here, because if the weekly candle close for Bitcoin is not going to be confirming above 0.65 or 0.618, it means that we're literally seeing a weekly fake out, and then you're potentially trapped with your Bitcoin long position or your other Bitcoin position. So what I will be doing here is waiting for this weekly candle close here. If it closes above 0.65, I've said it several times before, if we were to be getting a retest, I'm going to be opening up a new trade here. But also this would literally confirm the bull market stage here, because this is literally Bitcoin breaking above the golden pocket resistance, and after this there's not a lot of resistance left for Bitcoin. And especially with these large amounts of ETF flows, I won't be surprised that Bitcoin is actually going to be pushing up way higher than we're expecting. And like I said as well, I still think I'm a little bit in a disbelief phase, because Bitcoin is pushing up already so high before the halving. I am rather a little bit more cautious right here than a little bit too euphoric. So hopefully we're still going to get a correction, and that would give me a very good opportunity to position myself well. And I truly hope everyone has the opportunity as well to position itself well. I mean, I've already accumulated a lot of Bitcoin in the bear market right here, but I also want to be opening up some massive long positions right here in the market. But for that, I need to be a little bit more patient. So if you're interested in that, make sure to follow the channel. But a thing and a big trade that I think is going to come up here is of course Ethereum, because Ethereum is also going to have a spot ETF, and this ETF is expected to come in 96 days from now on. Only 96 days left here before that Ethereum spot ETF comes. And what is going to be happening with Ethereum, you think? I think something very similar to Bitcoin is going to be happening. There's going to be a lot of hype, especially on acceptance. We're at least going to see a 20% pump up. And honestly, because we're right now like 3 months before it's actually happening, you are anticipating this event early. Also, in 1 month from now on, we're going to get the update EP4844, what means that roll up, so everything built, the layer 2s built on the Ethereum ecosystem are going to get way more efficient. I mean, I talked about this many times before, even though I talked about this once Ethereum was trading right here, but you have to understand that this is not the time to be panicking. I think that there is a lot of liquidity going to be flowing towards Ethereum. You can see that Ethereum is right now also sitting at very historical support here, and I think we're going to be having a bullish breakout back towards the upside. While I see that many other content creators are actually saying that this is the bleeding of Ethereum, I think that this is the time where you want to be stepping in, and that is what I've done as well here. I've bought a lot of Ethereum. I currently have almost more Ethereum than Bitcoin in my portfolio, and maybe I'm going to sell some more Bitcoin off to Ethereum, because I think this is going to be a very good trade here. Talked about it many times before right now here. I think that Ethereum is going to be doing way better than Bitcoin in the coming 90 days here, so this is the time to be preparing yourself. This was it also for me in today's update video. If you did learn something from it, smash up that like button, and see you guys back tomorrow on another update video. Peace out. Goodbye.